Hello.
Hello there. So, do you have a cold?
I started it.
What?
I said I started it.
Oh, I see.
Uh,
How
but
did how'd you get a cold?
um, I had to go to I went to the bike shop and I had broken my wheel on
Ah,
my bicycle and I tried to order one. I did it wrong, so I brought it to them so that they would just do it right.
yeah.
So I was talking to this. The guy was looking at it and talking with me and pointed out that I did it wrong in two different ways. Like I got the wrong width and the wrong cassette type. Anyway, at the very end of the conversation, the guy, he seemed fine the whole time. I had a mask on, but he seemed fine the whole time. And then he just goes, right as I'm leaving, he just goes, and I was like, motherfucker. Like there's no, it was just one of those moments you're like, there's no way that I didn't get whatever he has.
Yeah.
Like it didn't have any windows open. There's no air moving. The dude's been in there all day. Like, cool.
Oh shit.
It's like one of those, you can just like feel it. You're like, all right. Like 15 minutes later, I like felt it in my face. I was like, okay. It turned out, it was super mild. Like I, not even like coughing or sneezing.
Yeah.
Like like in your head. But that was for me. It seems like that's kind of what everyone's got. But they seem to be taking it a little bit, heavier,
Yeah.
just a little more tired. The kids, especially, they don't really. They're just like, I'm tired and cranky. Like, yeah, is it because you're sick? And they're like, oh yeah.
Well, and I suppose I may be wrong, but it seems to me that being out in the world is part of building up immunity,
Yeah,
and
right.
not being able to do that.
Right, right. You know, I we've been trying to save a little money, and like I'm going to the grocery store a little bit and stuff now. But yeah, just it sucks because
Yeah.
the you
Yeah.
know I'm glad it was just a cold, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yes. Be glad of that.
yeah.
Uh, so I have a question which I don't think you can answer quickly, and I don't want to take class time to do it, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway.
Okay.
Earlier this week, I came down here and set up for class, and I couldn't, with everything hooked up the way I always do, I couldn't get any camera. I couldn't get on Zoom. I was like, what the hell is going on? And I
Yeah.
discovered
Okay.
that the Logitech was interfering. It wasn't
Okay.
working, it was interfering. So I unplugged it
Yeah.
and everything was fine. I couldn't
Okay.
I couldn't even read that the Logitech was plugged in Device Manager.
Okay. Um, have
So
you have you
maybe
like yeah, we have you tried plugging it when you plug it back in, does everything break again?
yeah.
The camera's broken.
Yeah.
I
That's what I thought.
uh, I had the same thing, sort of thing happen, and like, what will really drive you crazy is, if you try it on like Jane's laptop, if that still works, right?
Yeah.
And in my case, it would work fine on another computer.
Huh.
And then like I would plug it in and it wouldn't even detect it. It like it wouldn't even make like the badoop like noise, when you
Yeah,
connect it.
yeah,
Like the computer was like, I don't know that exists.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. Okay, that's
yeah,
fine. I'm no big deal.
yeah.
Um, I the camera on my computer works fine.
Okay. I have a camera. Maybe we could like trade, and like maybe now that camera that you have will work on my computer, and this this little webcam will work on yours. I don't know. Um, but I have no quick fix for you.
Yeah, I know. I didn't think you would. Okay. It was such a weird thing. I had to tell you about it.
I know. I wish I wish I had an answer. Some auto update did something and broke it.
Yeah, I
Almost
know.
as perfect.
It wouldn't even that really threw me when it wouldn't even see that it was plugged in.
Yeah, no, it's so funny. It's like the exact same thing that happened to me. I have
Yeah,
no
yeah.
idea. I have no
Oh,
idea.
good. Good. It makes me feel I'm not lonely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So,
Oh goodness.
questions?
Not today. No. Just glad to be here.
I beg your pardon?
I said just glad to be here.
Oh,
I
good.
just
I'm glad to have you here. All right. So, we're going to continue working on Swing 2, but let's just start with the beginning. And
sure.
well, let's just do a little standing, do cloud hands and swing 1, and then we'll start talking about the arms in swing 2 and the legs too. We'll start talking about all of it.
Okay. I can move. Oh, maybe.
So stepping out and coming into your basic structure. And just letting yourself settle for a moment. Feel your feet connecting down to the earth. Feeling your feet flat on the earth. Not on edges or toes or heels at the moment. The head lifting off the top of the spine, opening the occiput, and connecting upward to the universe. And being aware of all those places we need to keep open. Not only the occiput, but the armpits and the midriff and the quad, the perineum and the back of the knees and the ankles and feet releasing down into the earth. So first, just letting that energy that the body cannot use sink into the earth. And then extending the mind through the body, beginning to scan down and being aware of any places where you feel a blockage or a limitation. And just for a moment, seeing if you can release any place you come to. Ice to water, water to gas. And then stepping out wider with the right foot, letting that move you right into cloud hands. Then letting your arms drop and just flowing right into the first swing. letting the arms completely relax. And then just coming back to center and relaxing. And just closing that for the moment. So any questions in there?
No. Felt pretty good.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
So when we go into swing two, ideally your arms will turn just as they have in swing one, a little differently, but basically your arms are just going to turn. But the perhaps the most difficult part of movement two is the timing of the movement of the feet and keeping the rotation of the body continuous so that the arms are moved in the appropriate way. Um, so, oh, I didn't want you. I wanted me. Oh, but I got the wrong. Isn't that weird? Sometimes I get so confused with I don't understand what the problem is here.
Yeah.
Yes. Aha. I knew it was in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So I don't remember how much we worked on this.
We went over the footwork.
Yeah. Um, at this stage, just simply thinking of the arms being completely relaxed. But in movement two, the feet actually step back into shoulders width, and you are just going back and forth as you were in movement one, but now you're going to let that movement of the body move the leg. And the leg must not turn at all more or less than the torso does. So it is absolutely 100%. And so in order to do that, the shift onto the foot, onto the other leg, has to be a little quick so that when you rotate, that leg is moved. If you don't get over onto the other leg soon enough, what happens, of course, is that when you finally get there, you have to move the leg because you've already rotated the torso and the leg hasn't moved. So the transition from side to side has that quickness onto the leg so that you can make that rotation. But you have to retain a little bit of rotation at the quad so that the arms are moved and to tap the body. We'll talk about height a little bit later.
Okay.
The problem is that our tendency is to use all of our rotation to move the leg and then move the shoulders to move the arms, which of course we do not want to do. So you have to get onto the other foot. You have to use only part of your rotation to move the leg and the rest of your rotation to move the arms without disturbing the 4 points. Nothing to it.
Simple.
So just thinking about that. So as you begin to go into this, you're just going back and forth from side to side. Don't worry about what the arms are doing other than being relaxed at the moment. Because if you don't get the timing of this right, one of the things that happens, of course, is that your balance gets really thrown off. You can get so that you you don't know what you're doing. So, do you have a question there at the moment?
I think so.
Okay. Well, let me look at you then.
Yeah. Hold on. How do you? I guess just in one, you're going like this.
Yep.
This one, it feels like so. If I was coming here, now I need to like switch the direction of the rotation because like I'm rotating towards my weighted foot, but for
Yep.
two, I need to rotate away from my foot.
Yep.
So I guess I'm curious how that transition works.
Oh.
But,
Well,
yeah.
okay. And that's a good question. That absolutely.
But it feels very much like, and now just suddenly in the middle, when you get to the middle, like rotate the other way. It's like, okay, sure.
Sort of, yes. So you're doing swing one,
Mm-hmm.
and you decide it's time to go into swing two. So you get onto that foot over here, and you've gone to 100%.
Mm.
So you're simply going to reverse the direction you're turning. It's just a matter of being clear in your mind when your intent wants to make that transition.
Right.
So,
Okay.
so you're doing movement one, And now I want to go into movement 2.
Okay.
That, quite frankly, I think that's simply a matter of practice.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, for actually doing it.
I'm sorry?
I said for actually doing it, I don't think I have any questions. Yeah.
Boom. Boom. So try it once or
Yeah.
two. So
Yeah.
what I'm not feeling I'm seeing is the extra rotation at the quad to move the arms.
Okay.
Do you
Okay.
understand what I mean?
Yeah, like I'm trying to, but yeah, cause like so step and then there should be more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And and when we talk about where you want the arms to be, that actually makes it a little easier. To begin with, it should just you should not go any higher than the arms will just go by themselves.
Right.
We're not, however, I will say, um, let's see. So the no, that's not what I want. So open. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble today. Um, Eventually, you don't really need the hands to go any higher than your diaphragm.
Okay.
The ultimate level will be one hand at the height of the spleen and the other actually at the height of the liver.
Okay.
Um, and when you get really get to where you can move the height of your hands and arms by what you're doing with your feet and legs, they go through a transition of being low and gradually moving higher,
Mm-hmm. That
um,
makes sense. Yeah.
in 4 or 5 stages. And this is in order to really um, massage the internal organs and the digestive valves as you do this.
Gotcha.
Okay. Um, but as I said, the really important point here is that in the beginning, you really don't want to try to make the arms go to a particular height, but rather you want to, because that leads to moving the arms independently. So you want to just allow them to go to wherever they will go as you become really clear about the movement of your body and your legs.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. When you when hmm. to get that extra rotation,
Yeah.
when when whatever foot's moving steps, uh, what am I trying to say? Uh, is it completely empty, or are we letting it rotate a little bit more so
Nope.
that so
You're
so how do we?
rotating from the qua at that point,
Hmm.
not from anything else.
Right. I guess what I'm trying to get at is if I need more rotation, should my am I rotating when I'm finally done rotating?
Yeah.
Am I in line with that foot that's been placed when I'm done with that rotation, or
your,
have I
your
actually?
torso will be a little beyond it,
Okay. Okay.
but not your shoulders.
Right. Those would need to be four. Okay.
It's
So
a,
like
it-
the foot steps down, and then the claw and everything keeps going
yeah,
past where that foot is. That makes sense.
yeah. Because what you're doing here, among other things, is developing enough centrifugal force to move the arms.
Right. Right.
And um, yeah, that looks better.
Yeah. I was like really hung up on like that foot's gotta not. I can't go past that foot with my,
Yeah.
you know. So that makes a big difference.
No, it's the movement of the leg with by the by the body is in making the step. That has to be absolutely.
Right.
There is no attempt to place the leg,
Right. Okay.
but then the
Okay.
torso has to turn a little bit further in order to get the rotation, to get the centrifugal force, because that's how you end up being able to raise and lower the arms to whatever level you want to focus on.
Hmm.
Um, so, and also it has to some extent to do with how much pressure you want to put into how the arms are striking the body, because as you do this, it can be very relaxed. You can just get the movement to come up or strike with more force, or you may want to have less force, or you may want the layer to be lower. And so you have that, eventually at least, you have that control
Right.
um, to make it do what you want. There is a whole um, martial arts piece that we won't be getting into, but this particular um, movement is used to train the body to take blows without damage.
Oh,
Um,
gotcha. So I assume it gets quite forceful at some points.
yeah, much more forceful than we're doing.
Gotcha.
Okay, so um, one of the things that we have to be very clear about, and I think I've said it, but I'll say it again, um, and something that's not really usually very much a part of Western thinking about any of this, any kind of movement, and that is that we really want the arms to be completely empty. And in Qigong and Tai Chi, there are, besides the inner, one of the things we need to be aware of is that besides the energy gates of the body, which we talked about, there are the cavities. And the cavities are the giant pumping stations inside the body that affect a large number of energetic points inside the body. And some of these include, for example, the place deep inside the throat, and it's actually down underneath the sternum a bit. There are the armpits, the diaphragm, the midriff, the quad, the back of the knees. Some people even think the ankles. And to some extent, actually, the lower dantian is also a cavity. And the nature of cavity is that it's got a lot of soft, gushy stuff around it. And the center of all that softness, there is a primary type of an energy center in the body that is constantly doing all this opening and closing that's shooting stuff to and from the cavity. So when you look at the 4 secondary points of the shoulder, for instance, the main one is deep inside the armpit. There is an energy gate that's right on the surface of the armpit. But if you go deep inside, there's actually a cavity. And it is that point that controls the other 4. So one of the effects of this is that in Chinese theory, it moves an immense amount of lymph through the body. And this is, of course, particularly important from a health stance, and more important actually for women than men in a general rule. But you also have with these armpits, which a lot of people are not familiar with, the fact that the armpits are very much connected energetically and even anatomically to all the deep muscles in the neck. The deep muscles in the neck are a big problem because in the West, you had to say what was the greatest single ordinary complaint. It's called upper back, neck, and shoulder pain. Now, the big muscles won't necessarily get to the deep stuff in the neck, but the armpits can. And you have to keep the armpits open in order to do Chinese calligraphy, for instance. And that's an unknown subject, obviously, in the West, because we don't really think of writing that way. It doesn't even work because of the nature of working on a keyboard, which you're, I'm sure, very familiar with. You don't open up your armpits. You shut them down, trying to squeeze everything into your fingertips. And understand that your fingertips start from 2 places. If you were to talk about them energetically, if you just want to talk about physical, it's force vectors or wave vectors, or it starts from your spine neurologically going to your fingertips. But it all starts from your armpits. Every time you bring it back through your armpits, you're affecting your fingers. But the reason we're doing this is that this action of having energy move up and down your arms is the big payoff. And the big thing the swings are about is actually not about your spine, it's about the internal organs. So we're going to go through some things with the arms. So I want you to stand up and link your fingers together on top of your head. And then focus on your armpits. And try to just let your armpits completely relax. Just really completely let go. Feel like your armpits are sinking down into your feet. And when you feel that sinking down, just let your fingers unlock. Your arms should just completely drop. So just try it again. Link the fingers together and let the armpits completely relax. You want the sense of the arms just completely dropping on their own. You're not doing anything. There's no release and now it's time to put my arms down. They just drop. Gravity pulls them down. And then link the fingers again and let the armpits relax. Really feel them let go, and then focus on your shoulder blades, the scapula. And feel your scapula just release down through your buttocks and into your feet. And you really feel you release those two, just let it drop. Just feel it drop. And do it again. Completely release the armpits. Release the scapula. And just let your arms drop. You want no sense of holding in any way. But we're not quite done yet. So let the armpits relax. Let the shoulder blades relax. And now feel your shoulders nest release. Feel them drop and connect through the quad. Everything dropping down into your feet. Completely let go. No holding at all. And just let it drop. And try those again. and release. And now what I want you to do is to step out and go into that first swing. And don't do anything with the arms. Just let them stay completely empty, but feel what happens energetically. Because you should feel energy moving through the arms into your fingertips. And then go into swing two, but keep those arms completely empty. And just feel that. Feel the energy moving through the arms. Do you feel the difference in that?
Yeah. No, it's pretty significant.
It is. It's really interesting seeing it. Good. So, the arms are the access route to the internal organs in terms of chi work. Your spine is the access route to your fingertips, and your spine actually ends up going through your deltoids and your shoulder blades. But the access route in every motion you make, in any Qigong or Tai Chi or whatever, that goes to your internal organs, and that is through your armpits. You have to keep the armpits open and empty. So obviously the first swing is the easiest to connect all of that. And the second is much more difficult because you have so many more moving parts. But you were doing pretty good there. Bruce called this the joys of coordination. Let's see. So one of the things in the second swing is that you also have to make sure that you're letting your elbows go. So how can you just keep your armpits open enough so that you can feel the swing you're doing and feel it going into your neck and eventually everywhere else that it needs to be going? And if you do this, you can release all the neck and shoulder pain that you may experience, which is a good idea. So the first thing is your elbows have to release. If your elbows don't release, forget about doing anything with the armpits. You don't have the leverage access point. But once you can let your elbow go a bit, how can you just have the sense of keeping your armpits open just enough so that you're swinging, the action your hands are going through is going straight to your neck and opening your neck up. So you have to keep the elbows out in order to keep the armpits open, but you also have to allow your hands to get very heavy. Nothing to it.
It's like 1 or 4 things at a time. That's fine.
I'm sorry?
I said just 1 or 4 things at a time. That's fine.
That's all. Yeah.
Yeah. Super easy.
We did all of that. Let's see. Okay.
Would you at some point we went around to all the spots that we typically talk about, and we like tried to release the 4 or however many, like I don't remember
The
what it was,
gates.
like, yeah, like the minor gates before doing the larger gate. Um, is that something you would do like before trying to let's say like do the swing like while you're doing your standing, or is that something that you would use your swing to help do, like would you do that while you're swinging because like the movement would, and I obviously like once you know what you're doing like
Yeah. And the answer is yes. You start by doing it when you're just standing.
Okay. Yeah.
And you don't try to do it when you're moving until you feel you can do that. You can try that.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
what you'll find is that it is very difficult to do it when you're moving.
Okay.
But it becomes an important part. For instance, when we get to God's playing in the clouds, it definitely is something that you want to be able to do, is to dissolve while you're doing the movements of God's, which in terms of what's happening internally is even much more difficult than what's happening here.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
Just be honest.
Yeah.
So that's really all I wanted to do with that today. I think that gives you plenty to work with in Swing 2.
Yeah.
Unless you have some other question about it at the moment.
No, I don't,
Okay.
seems like I don't understand what's going on. The thing with the foot helped. So
The what?
knowing that the thing with the foot helped, knowing that it's okay to rotate my hips,
Yeah.
or my waist past the foot.
Well, that's as long as you retain the 4 points. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
And sometimes it can be helpful. Obviously not forever, but sometimes before you start to swing, to take the time to to go through those relaxation movements of or positions of the arms and just sort of say, you know, relax the armpits, the shoulders nest, the shoulder blades, make sure everything's open, make sure that the arms can just drop. You can obviously, you can even simply do it by just bringing the hands up in front of you and letting them drop.
Right.
Just making sure that they're really ready to be empty.
Yeah. Okay.
There are a few more details in this, but this is the biggest part of it.
Gotcha. Okay. I imagine having the arms open with like in one with that intention of like letting them release probably all ties together.
Yeah, and learning how, when you bring the arms around and they tap into the body, how do you keep the armpits open?
Yeah, I guess I just didn't think about it.
No.
Nope.
Why
No.
would you?
Uh, yeah, huh. Okay. That's an interesting thought because that would probably really help not because if you're paying attention to that, you won't over rotate your shoulders either.
Yep.
Which, because I do that a lot. I know for sure.
It's almost inevitable that we do that to
Right.
begin with.
Right.
So good.
Sweet.
So, how's your form?
It exists.
It exists. All right. Want to
Uh,
show it to me?
no, not. No. Would you like to? We can do it together. Make a little more room.
Good. Where did we stop with that, or did we stop with that? Did we get to the end of the second paragraph?
I think, and then I think we went a little bit, like a couple bits past it. I thought I've gotten a little like there's so many spins and kicks, and that I'm like, I have no idea. um, you know, that whole section after Cloud Hands.
Yeah.
Everything after that, I could probably just do that, like, focus on that a lot. Because that's what I'll say.
Okay. Tell you what. Let's flow together, and then let me see that section
Yeah.
and see how I can help you.
Sure. I mean, there's not much to look at. It's gonna be me going, what do I do next? So.
That's fine. Um, it begin Taiji addressing the earth. So spiraling down into the left, stepping out, rising into Pum, Sink. Rising to on. Shift left and release. Turn. Shift. Step forward, shift forward, and ward off left. Reset the right. Ward off right. Roll back. Sword. Sink. Press forward. And push downward. Shift back. Turn. Single whip. What am I doing?
With hands.
Sorry, Andrew, I was going into the Wu style.
It's okay, dude.
Oh, well. Oh. Completely blanking here. Okay, let's try it again.
Sure.
Begin Tai Chi addressing the earth. Spiraling down, stepping out, rising to palm. Sink. Shift. Release. Turn. Ward off left. Ward off right. And roll back. Press forward. Push downward. Back. Single whip. Turn. Sink the heel and lift hand. And pat. Draw back in and brush knee. Shift forward, reset. Play peepaw. Brush knee. And brush knee again. And brush knee left. Shift forward, reset. Play peepaw. And brush knee. Shifting back, hands begin to rise. Kick, elbow, back fist, step through and shift forward, punch. Withdraw and push downward. Sit back and turn. Rise to cross hands. Turn. Turn on the left toe. Sit on the left and step to the rear corner. Embrace tiger, return to mountain. Sitting back and down, ward off. Roll back. sink and turn and press forward and push downward. Sit back, single whip on the diagonal. Sit back, turn that left leg, shift onto it, right arm rising, sweep forward, ear strike, shift to the right, turn, touch, and punch, and draw back in and repulse the monkey. In, repulse monkey, and repulse the monkey. Step and diagonal flying. Shift forward, reset, sit back and lift hand, turn, high pat. Draw in and another brush move. Shift forward, draw back, form the sword fingers, bending up, extending down, needle at C bottom. Rise to base level, shift forward, turn to fan through the back, turn, step and chop with fist, drawing in and kick, elbow, back fist, step, shift forward and punch, and back, stepping through to rise to ward off right, roll back, press forward, and push downward, turn, stepping around, single whip, turn, step, and wave hands, stepping forward, and then back, single whip, turn, lift hand, and then step, and ward off left, shift forward, kick with the right, and then step and ward off right. Shift on to the right and kick with the left, and back, spin, and kick with the right heel, step forward and punch, withdraw, ward off right, press forward, push downward, turn again to single whip, I seem to be in another world here this morning.
It's okay. Um, yeah. When do we punch? When do we punch the floor? You know, because and then there's high pass after
That's
that, right?
that's where I went off with it.
Because that, like, I always know that because I like that posture. It's fun, but I never remember where it goes. And like that's kind of where I get, and I'm like, I definitely don't know where I'm going.
Yeah, because when I come around there, instead of when we do that kick, that was where I don't know why I'm mixing up the forms today. Jeez.
It's one of them
Um,
days.
so when we kick with heel, um, actually, is that right? Yeah, we actually go into brush knee and brush knee, and then into punch down. And then we go back to the other side again with back
Yeah,
fist and pull
yeah.
through, kick, elbow, back fist, forward and punch, and then withdraw. And we're going to kick with the right heel to this side, open, and turn and push clear onto the right foot, releasing, shift, and then shift forward, releasing on the step to push left and right, turn on the right toe, step all the way around, shift onto the right and into another, and then back, withdraw in, kick with the right heel, and then double wind to the ears, reset, come into center and kick with the left heel, back, spin all the way around on the right foot, and land on the left, kick with the right heel, and deflect, intercept and punch, withdraw and push, and then into cross hands. That was not helpful to you, I have a feeling.
Well, no, because now we have the snippet on the recording here of basically after that spinning kick, what to do. You know, I
Yeah.
know that in other ones too, but no, that's helpful.
um, so, do you have other questions in there?
No, I just need to basically actually practice one. But just that section, I think with all there's a lot of like spinning kick, but it's it's the same, but it's completely different, and you're gonna do something else now.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
it's like my worst type of. It's um, you know what helped. You know what helped a lot. In Breshni City. That's my name for that sequence. Near the beginning, right when you're doing all
Yeah.
Breshni. At some point, you're like, oh, there's 6 of them. Is there a fun number of? You
There's
can't
only
just step
5
through.
of them, actually.
Okay, well, I was just I can do it, right? I was just trying to remember the number.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, but yeah, if there's like a similar thing here of like you're looking for 5 kicks or whatever.
Well, you know, No, I don't think. No, I've never tried to
Yeah.
think of it that way.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll go back and count
Um,
them. But
I did, I apologize for getting lost there. I I need more time to practice.
yeah. Well, I mean, you've been you doing everything like with the Woo style, right? So
Yeah. Well, that's really, I'm focusing a lot on that.
right,
Um,
right.
and it is completely different, but
Oh, okay.
because it to some extent is based on the Yang style
Hmm.
with Chen elements and its own elements, and it's but the problem is that the sequence is very much the same, not identical by any means, but and
Right.
and some of the names of the postures are the same and some are different.
Oh, fun. That's really fun.
So
Yeah, I don't know why you mix those up at all. That seems. I mean, they're clearly so different. There's nothing similar there at all. I would
thank
never
you,
mix
but I
those
shouldn't.
up. Yeah.
And sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
At
That's right.
the moment I did. Anyway,
Mhm.
well, so I hope everybody feels better soon.
Yeah, I think everyone's on the mend. It was just
Oh,
one of those like energy draining, like
uh,
little, and like Lyra was like, oh, like my ears, like all the sounds seem less loud, and I'm like, well, yeah, your head's probably full of like gunk. She's like, yeah,
yeah.
but can you fix it? I'm like, no, drink,
Daddy
drink more water. Um,
can't fix it?
no, not today.
Well,
Yeah,
give our best to everybody,
yeah, absolutely.
and I hope they all feel really good soon.
Yeah, yeah. I I probably would have been safe coming over. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
I'd rather
I
not.
appreciate I appreciate not sharing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Well, say hi to
mean,
Jane for me.
what?
I said say hi to Jane for me.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do
Yeah.
that. We're boy, I can't. I'm, I don't know why I am totally lost my ability to.
No.
What is that? Part of my problem is that I have trouble reading all of this. No, that's not what you want, David.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
I hope you have a good couple of weeks, and I'll look forward to seeing you further in September.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
believe it's September already?
No.
Ah,
No. No. Every time we have class, I'm like, that's not. It's not been 2 weeks. Nothing
I
has.
know it comes
Like
quick,
what?
doesn't it?
Apparently. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
good luck, and maybe we can get together next time.
Yeah. Yeah. Barring anyone getting sick, there's no reason not to.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye.